Oh, he said still some more to go on the northern portion of the island. You can take a look and see where we are currently. Cynthia Walsh sending this in Fleur-de-Lis. You can see the snow to the left. It's up to the ridge on the patio, and to the right, it's well up the doorway in the back as well. More on that in just a moment, but in terms of Labrador, we see some light wind this evening in Happy Valley Goose Bay, a little bit more on the coast, 40 to 50 the gusts, and it's that west wind on the southern portion of the island and the west coast. It's going to drop the temperatures, but peak into tomorrow morning, back into that 60 to 80 kilometer per hour range, 50 to 70 for the Burin. It looks like 40 to 60 for the south coast there, 30 to 50 for the west coast up into the northern peninsula and through central as well. In fact, that's a cold west wind. Take a look at it, minus 16 in St. John's, and the difference between a west and a northeast wind. Take a look at Cartwright, feeling like minus 7 in Labrador City, minus 15 to kick off to Thursday. But if you'd have told me last week that St. John's was going to feel colder than Labrador City, I don't know. But here we are, and minus 9 is what it feels like in Happy Valley Goose Bay tomorrow morning with that lighter wind. That's going to do the exact same thing to that snow on the island into tonight. We do see a little bit of a drop as before we get that wind picking up. So again, tomorrow it's going to stall that system up a little further. But before then, the west wind bringing some flurries to the Burin Peninsula, the southern shore by the looks of things. And then again, we're going to see those flurries in the overnight lighten up on the west coast and finish off through the overnight in central. We take a look and see tomorrow morning that is doing that exact same thing as mentioned earlier. Going to stall the system further north to increase those totals into Fogo Island, across Twillingate, Bayvert Peninsula, and up into the northern peninsula. And we'll get to the south coast of Labrador in just a moment. It's going to show up here on a 5-day forecast where, because of that, we're seeing less snow on the eastern side and some sun and cloud. We do see the return of some snow on Monday, and I'll tell you now, that might have a little bit to it. We'll be due by then, won't we? South coast, we see some additional snow on the Friday, and then not returning again until the Monday. And there's going to be some flurries in here for central, but really that weekend looks lovely. All the way up to 0 degrees on Saturday with the sun and cloud, and we might need it before the Monday. We'll talk about that the closer we get to it. For the west coast, yep, some flurries late into tomorrow evening, which is going to pick up into snow for Friday, hold into Saturday, get a break on the Sunday, return on the Monday. There's the consistency we see for the northern peninsula. Saturday morning, we'll see that snow finish up with some sun and cloud in the afternoon, lasting into Sunday before we return to that on the Monday. And on the south coast of Labrador, we can see less of a break. Again, more on that in just a moment. To the north coast, the temperatures getting to minus 5 on Friday and then cooling back into the double digits Sunday and Monday, but some sun and cloud in there. For Happy Valley Goose Bay, we have some snow potential Thursday, Friday, Saturday before the cloud takes over Sunday and Monday. The totals are pretty limited into Thursday, to be fair. So too for Labrador West, and then a nice little break. And you can see the temperatures pretty average, 12 below to minus 15, but cooler in the evenings. All right, so we'll go over this and then we'll give you the actual numbers in a couple of ways here. But we can see into this evening that push down as those winds lighten, and then we're going to see those winds pick up again, which is going to break up the system. And we talked about that little bit of a break in the early hours of the morning before it returns. Northern Peninsula, Bayvert Peninsula, and the top of the north there, even all the way over to the Kittiwake coast by tomorrow morning. You can see that dark band kind of in the middle here. I think that might actually track a little bit further south, so Fogo Island. A little bit of snow coming. We'll get you those totals in just a second. We push through into the afternoon, and again, it's just kind of stalling in the same places, isn't it? We push into the evening, we start to see that west wind take over, and a southwest wind for the west coast. That brings some more snow. That's where that accumulation is going to pick up. In terms of seeing where the heaviest snowfall is, we're going to look for the darker colors. So, yeah, Fogo Island at the top of Kittiwake Coast, and a purple there, so that's the chance to hit that 30 mark. Say between 20, 25 with the opportunity for some pockets to get close to that 30 mark by end of day Thursday. That includes tonight's snow. It is possible for the northern peninsula, 20-ish to 25 for the south coast of Labrador, and we'll see that trickle off as we move further west. So if numbers do it for you, let's go. St. Anthony, 25 to 35 by end of day Thursday. Bayvert Peninsula, 20 to 25. Fogo Island in there as well. It starts to trickle off, but still a fair amount for Parsons Pond through to Springdale, and Corner Brook, that 15 centimeters again, picking up tomorrow evening into some actual snow, but you will pick up a little bit of flurry activity tonight in through the overnight. Lumsden 10 to 15, Grand Falls, Windsor, and Gander about 10. Buckins 5 to 10 when it's all said and done. And you can see here quickly it picks up on the coast through the overnight on the southern side, cut right down to Red Bay, and just some flurries thereafter. So the totals in that 5 centimeter range for Cartwright, Makovic, and Happy Valley Goose Bay. Less for Lab West and less again for Nain. rain, but for Mary's Harbor and Red Bay. Mary's Harbor closer to that northern peninsula mark, Red Bay mimicking some of that west coast activity there. So still a bit of snow to fall, and we got more to talk about on Friday, and again Monday. Looks like some fun, so we'll get to it. See you soon.